My name is Anne Brock. I'm going to be walking you through the discussion of Helix today. And if you have any questions along the way, go ahead and put them in the Q&A window. We'll be checking that as we go. So again, my name is Anne Brock. I'm from RightStar Systems, and we are a premier partner of BMC. We've been working with BMC products since the beginning 15 years ago, and we actually won DSM North America Partner of the Year this year at the sales kickoff. So a long time connection with BMC, and we've seen them through many name changes and product direction changes. We both sell licenses and we also implement solutions. So whether it's any BMC solution, we have implementation services for them. We also do training. We have some process workshops. And in fact, we have an ITIL 4 training session coming up. I believe it's in June. I probably should check that date, but I'm sure you've gotten emails on it. So we do a lot of things in the IT service management space and working with the BMC products. Myself, I worked with BMC started at Remedy 2001. BMC bought us, and I ended up at BMC through about 2016, and that's when I moved over to RightStar on the partner side. So I think I started around 4.5.2, but I imagine some of you are on even older versions. I'm not sure if I can get these slides to be full screen for everybody, so you may want to go ahead and close out the participants window or go to the floating panel view. If you go up to the top, there's an option for a floating panel view, and then you can close out some of the boxes as well. But I'll try to blow it up for everybody, just don't know if I can. So the goal of today is to talk about BMC Helix. I know this has been causing a lot of confusion out there. People are wondering, what exactly do we mean by the word Helix, or what does BMC mean? It's really not a big mystery. So we're just going to walk through and talk about it and why BMC is starting to use that terminology. Legal notice. And then, so as you've all probably seen this slide when you've been on meetings with BMC. We've been doing this journey for decades now as people have continued to get smarter and wiser and better and faster on the IT service management platforms, but also technology has changed so much. We've got the Internet of Things, we've got the whole social stuff going, mobile, et cetera. People are having very different kinds of interactions with their IT service management tools, whether as a support analyst or as an end user. And expectations are changing, and we're hoping to make things better, faster, et cetera. So we've moved from being a leading ITSM solution, adding on a lot of the multi-device, multi-channel things to become more of a digital enterprise. A lot of our customers have actually made that box easily. And a couple of customers going along with BMC to the next, the cognitive enterprise. And this is really where you start being able to do some anticipation. So along with more than just a simple knowledge base, a chatbot can actually help your users interact and get knowledge articles and service requests for things they're looking for. RightStar just worked with one of our customers, George Washington University, on a very successful rollout of chatbots. Got written up in the campus newsletter as the best thing IT had ever done. So we've started they're moving in that direction. And then the next step, of course, is to continue to expand the chatbot and then maybe look at some of the cognitive things that BMC is doing. Some of you may already be at that point on your journey. Some of you are still along the way. The key thing is that BMC is working hard over the years to stay on top of things, stay slightly ahead of things, and make sure that they have the products that are going to allow you all to continue your process down the maturity road. So this was roughly the landscape, right? We used to talk about BMC. We had Remedy, we had Discovery, we had the various as a service things. You've heard Remedy on Demand, Remedy as a Service, all those kinds of things going on. We've had those things going on for a while in the terminology. But what BMC's been doing is expanding on its whole cloud infrastructure. So now they're doing things like working on containerizing Remedy and some of the other products. And this is so that they can install easier, whether in their data center or in things like AWS and Azure. And so as they've been going through this journey, they've realized that they wanted to pull it all together. And that's really what Helix is. It's a word to pull it all together. It's just saying, hey, as we're going through this journey, let's think about it. If we're talking, and basically I think of it as cloud. If we're saying Helix, we're talking about things that are going to be out in the cloud and either already are or will be able to run multi-cloud and be in containers, and going to be able to take advantage of, if they aren't already, the cognitive components. So Helix, think cloud, and think cognitive and containers, the 3 C's. We all had to learn those last year. So when we talk about Helix Remedy versus Remedy on-premise, it's the same product. It absolutely still is. So whatever you're doing, when you talk Remedy, it's the same product on-premise or on the Helix. So I wanted to make sure of that. Other products are same on-premise or in the cloud, such as Discovery. There used to be the ADDM product, is now Discovery, and it's now on-premise as well as in, quote, Helix in the cloud available. Similar as BMC Client Management, it's available both places. But there are things that will be cloud only, and we're going to walk through those some. The Innovation Suite, the Integration Suite, the cognitive capabilities, those are cloud only, although they can work with the on-premise stuff as well. So, I know I'm using my technical language, right, the stuff. But the idea is if we're saying Helix, we're talking about running it in the cloud, but the product isn't different. If it was already an on-premise product, it's the same product in the cloud. Now, there are products that are cloud only. Remedy Force is a classic example. And a week and a half ago, I was on the phone with a customer asking me what's the difference between Remedy Force and Helix Remedy Force. Remedy Force is Remedy Force is Remedy Force, but it got rebranded as Helix Remedy Force because it's in the cloud. So that's why I tend to think of Helix is that it's in the cloud. That's why I tend to think of it that way. So I think it's a way to unify things, try to clarify things. No, it causes a lot of confusion in the short term, but now in the future, when we start talking about things, you won't have to say, oh, are you talking about on-premise or in the cloud? Because if it's got Helix in it, it's up in the cloud. Now, all of you are staring at AWS and Azure and Docker and Kubernetes and saying, wow, can I install my Remedy stuff doing this? At the moment, BMC is taking advantage of Dockers and Kubernetes to start installing Remedy and using containerization. Not really available to customers yet. Future statement, that is something they plan to do. Currently, you need to use the BMC, AWS, or Azure. And so right now, you would be in BMC's AWS or Azure cloud if you didn't want to be in the BMC cloud. But down the road, again, hopefully as the containers and everything gets going, that is something BMC would like to expose, but again, that's future statement. But this is really why BMC likes this cloud option, is it's giving them a lot of ways to get more flexible, faster, both in installations and upgrading. Cognitive is a weird word over there on the left. So cognitive is a couple of different things. It's kind of got a broad sense, but the idea is, again, chatbots being able to deliver up things, but also some AI in there. So if somebody puts in a free-form email, let's get it categorized appropriately. Or somebody puts in something through a chat session, let's get it categorized appropriately. Let's get assigned to the right place. You may have a worldwide set of teams that work on different things specifically, and maybe the assignment engine, as it's built within the Remedy solution or other solutions, aren't quite enough. Maybe cognitive can give you more parameters to slice and dice a ticket and get it assigned to the right resource. So cognitive is really just starting. We have a few examples so far from BMC of things customers are doing with it, but we'll see how that goes moving forward. And yes, it is being extended to other platforms, possibly, again, future statement. But I know they've started asking if Helix Remedy Force customers have an interest in the cognitive as well as the chatbot. The chatbot has been extended to Remedy Force customers already, but the cognitive, I think they're still exploring what is the interest out there. We'll see what happens. So this is a BMC slide, okay? It's a good slide. I don't like the robots on the right, personally. I think the idea here is, but the idea is good. The idea is, as much as possible, let's use people for the things they're really good at. And let's automate as much as we can. The more we can automate and get accurate and get people their help quickly, then the people can focus on things that take longer, that need more diving into, that maybe need more grouping together, talking about, trying to figure out the problem. We solved it before, we already have an answer, let's get those out there so that we aren't focusing on giving the same answer 15, 20, 50 times a day, but we're focusing on, wow, that's a really strange issue. I haven't seen that before. Let's start diving in to see what's going on behind the scenes. So not my favorite graphic, but I'm not a BMC marketing person. But that's really the goal of this. By automating, you're reducing costs and you're increasing customer satisfaction because we all want our answers as soon as possible. So a little bit of redundant here, but you can see this is a cognitive slide. On the agent efficiency, it's really around classifications, assignments, suggesting the right kind of knowledge articles and that kind of thing. For your end users, it's the chatbots, the virtual agents, being able to get that omni-channel experience, whether they're on their mobile device, whether they're in a web browser, whether they're on a chat tool. And the interesting thing down on that bottom right, the vendor agnostic cognitive services started off IBM Watson. Now, I think this is still a future statement. They are planning. I think there is another cognitive vendor they hooked to, and I can't remember the name of, but they're going to want to extend it to more cognitive vendors. But right now, it's IBM Watson, and the other I can't remember the name of. And I think that vendor is out, but if not, it's going to be very shortly. So different ways to hook that cognitive service. So if you're using one already, maybe that's something we can hook in to help leverage this technology as well. Really interesting approaches on this in terms of where they're going. Now, I know some of you have already seen some of these slides, but we're just going to walk through kind of a set of some of the products that are, quote, labeled Helix. Everybody knows Discovery, Atrium Discovery and Dependency Mapping, focus on the data center, discovers relationships as well as the hardware, how things are talking to each other, who's talking to whom, and what kind of connections are going on. Great if you're doing a data center move or you just want to find out what's in your data center. Great when you have a data center that gets a lot of activity, right? Changes on a pretty much continual basis. So Discovery is a great way to keep your CMDB up to date and make sure you have the right kinds of things going in there and you have the right kinds of information. So when you're doing changes, when you're doing things, you know who you're impacting, what you're impacting, et cetera. About a year ago, maybe a year and a half by now, it did expand to start discovering things in the cloud. So you can buy the cloud option to also start discovering your instances in AWS, Azure, OpenStack, et cetera, so that you can start bringing those into your CMDB as well. You can see on the left, there are some that are planned, again, future statement, but they're planning to do even more clouds because that's how you're going to get a complete picture. Very few companies are solely on-premise anymore, and very few are pure cloud. Most of us work in companies that are a mixture. Heavy toward one end, heavy toward the other, but there's a mixture. So by getting this full information into the configuration management database, you're able to start really seeing what's going on out there. And again, because it's Helix Discovery, you have the option of running the Discovery product either on-premise or in the cloud. And Discovery, of course, does integrate with RemedyForce as well as with the Remedy product. So whichever Helix product you're using or on-premise product, in the case of on-premise Remedy, Discovery will integrate in with that. The products, it's got open APIs and imports, of course, et cetera. A valuable tool. This gets you so much information so quickly. And because it has Start Anywhere modeling, Start Anywhere mapping, it's able to start building out the picture pretty quickly. Now it learns for a while. It goes out, it explores the connections. You may have to add more protocols and things or more credentials in, but it gradually crawls across and starts finding everything. Really valuable tool in those dynamic environments. Oh, and the latest thing I've seen around this is being able to find out more about your containers, your Kubernetes and other kinds of containers, and being able to crawl in behind those. I don't think it's gotten everything in it yet. I haven't looked at the latest release notes, but it is now starting to identify containers and some of the options around those. So BMC continues to expand and enhance this. So one of the more exciting tools in the suite. Well, they're all exciting, I should say, but I like the Discovery tool. Remedy, Helix Remedy, what can I say? This has been around since the early 1990s, continuing to change. My bet is everybody on the call has been probably a Remedy customer, has seen Remedy in the past. Smart IT, digital workplace, all the exciting things we're doing around there. So it is available on the Helix as well as the on-premise. If you're currently on-premise and wondering why to move, we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well, why you would want to do it. And again, if you'd rather be in an AWS or Azure instance rather on the BMC cloud, that can be done as well, but it is going to be the BMC's, for now, it's BMC's instance of AWS or Azure. Cognitive. This is IBM. There are the feature things over there on the left. I can't remember which one is available now, but being able to do Lex, Cortana, TensorFlow over time. And again, the main things I've seen so far is around categorizations and auto assignments. And I'm thinking here I had a customer who was, their assignment model really depended upon what the question was about. So what product or service the question was about, where the customer was located, their language preference, time of day, what their service level was. Are they platinum, gold, whatever they are. They use a whole wide variety of factors to match up with available technicians, because not all technicians were always going to be available, right? They were going to, I'm available now, I'm not available in 4 hours, so they were checking in and out. So that kind of complex model, there's something like a cognitive can really come in to kind of data mine, figure things out, and really get it assigned properly beyond just this kind of categorization goes to this particular support group. So that's a fairly interesting use. Categorizations, I admit I was a little bit skeptical on that, but I recently had people saying, you know what? We have so many categorizations out there, it's getting really hard to manage them and figure out which is the right categorization. And we don't want to reduce them, but we need to really get them to the correct categories, because otherwise everything ends up in other. So based upon the text in the ticket, again, we can maybe get this categorization nailed down closer. And the better the categorization is, the better your SLAs are, the better your reporting is, the better the assignments are. All those kinds of things get better. You're not wasting time going around saying, oh, whoops, this got categorized wrong. So for the end users and the omni-channel experience, the goal is, of course, to be able to get people to put in tickets from anywhere. I'm an email person. I email in my tickets. I do that. But obviously, people want to do it on their handheld devices. They want to do it on the web. They want to do it through a chatbot, through a chat tool. So lots of ways to do it with this omni-channel. I know that, I'm pretty sure I know, the chatbot so far has been integrated with Slack, with Skype, and there's another one out there, so I don't know all of them. They keep changing and adding in new chat devices, so there are different ways for people to communicate on a chat tool they're already using, where they can go ahead and put the questions in and get the knowledge articles and service requests served up to them through the chatbot. They don't have to log in to Digital Workplace, or they don't have to log into the Digital Workplace on their mobile app. They just do it in the chatbot they already have. So that's a pretty interesting thing, because I don't know about you all, we have proliferating chat tools here at RightStar. And when I was at BMC, we had proliferating chat tools. And every company I talked to, the IT service management side has a chat tool, sales has a chat tool, and the DevOps have a chat tool. So instead of forcing everybody onto one, maybe we can go where they are and let them put in their questions and things through their chat tool of choice. So that's fairly cool. Unified Service Catalog, that's that whole, we used to call it Service Broker. It's now part of Digital Workplace Advanced. The idea there is when on my self-service and I'm putting in a ticket, it doesn't have to go to Remedy. Of course, you've always been able to submit a ticket to Remedy and immediately have it create a ticket in another system, right? But the idea here is I go straight from that self-service portal to that third-party system. I don't care if it's Jira, I don't care if it's an online catalog system, I don't care if it's the HR system because they're using some kind of SAP HR thing instead of putting their HR tickets in Remedy, whatever it is, you again have one place to go. You put in your tickets, and it's going to go to the right system in the back end. Updates come back to your single source of self-service, and now you're not logging into multiple portals. Just yesterday, somebody's like, my customers hate logging into multiple portals to put in tickets, and it's like, yeah, nobody wants to do that. So let's try and get everything onto one portal and have it go to the back-end tool appropriately. So that Unified Service Catalog has been around for a while. Just want to remind you, it is part of Digital Workplace Advanced, and we've had some customers be pretty successful with that one. I already talked about containerization, and a customer went down there. I won't read the slide to you. And trying to think if I've already, Twilio, that's the one. Twilio, I think, is what GWU, George Washington University, was using, although I think they may be using another chat tool as well, but we did get the chatbot working through there as well. So again, being able to ask questions and getting back knowledge articles and service requests so that I can either help myself with the knowledge article or I can put in a service request through answering questions. And you can kind of see this on this slide where they're asking about, I would want to take time off, how many days, 10 days, starting with date. So that kind of happening through the chatbot instead of me logging into Digital Workplace and putting in this information in the various fields. Again, just make it as easy for people as they can to get the tickets in so that you can get your ticket and you can start helping them out as much as possible. And of course, an automation plays into this, right? BMC for years has had it where if you go to a BMC site and you need guest Wi-Fi through Digital Workplace and now through Chatbot, you can put in a ticket saying, hey, I need Wi-Fi for 10 people for 3 days, and it will automatically auto-create those logins, send them to you, and you can get them out to the people that are visiting that BMC location. So those kind of automations can happen as well, but key thing is make it as easy for your end users as possible. I probably said that a few too many times. Business workflows. I don't know how many on the call have heard of these. I'm hoping everybody, but BMC has been doing a lot of new things lately, so I don't know if you quite got there yet or not. Business workflows is built on top of Innovation Studio, which is a platform. It's not the AR system platform, it's a new platform, but it can interact with the AR system platform as well as other things. The idea behind the Innovation Studio or Innovation Platform is to make it easy to build applications by having a whole bunch of widgets that you kind of pull together into your application. So one of the first ones BMC built was the business workflows, geared toward HR facilities procurement, has the things that they need, templates, knowledge articles, approvals, those kinds of things, not built on top of the AR system. It's just next to it. So they didn't have to go into Remedy, do a whole lot of setting up of categorizations, queues, view permissions, that kind of thing. It's a way to get them into a different environment, still a very robust ticketing system, but different from the Remedy on top of the AR system. Don't have to have Remedy to have business workflows, but it is just a way to give another way for people in your environment to handle tickets if you don't want them coming to Remedy. I know some of you have some very large Remedy implementations. Adding a new group onto Remedy can sometimes take quite a while just because of the amount of work you have in your queue and the amount of potential interactions. So putting them onto business workflows may be a great way to extend to some other groups and get that done a little bit more quickly. So that's available from BMC as well. Developer experience, and we don't have demos today, sorry, but Innovation Suite is the drag and drop and widget builder and whatnot. And over time, as people build more and more widgets, there'll be more dragging and dropping and less widget building. The idea being is you drop your widgets, you drop your workflow in, you say how you want to tie things together. And BMC's already used this platform not just for business workflows, but they've used it for their integration engine. They're leveraging it with Cognitive. They're leveraging it with the Service Cloud thing where pre-built integrations to other IT service management applications, such as I believe you can put in tickets to Salesforce and a couple others as well. So BMC is already building on this platform while still maintaining the AR system platform and the Remedy and all those tools, but it is building on this type of platform as well. Down the road, you want to see a little bit more in Innovation Studio, just contact your RightStar sales rep. We can show you a bit more around there. And there actually is a site where you can get access to it as a demo, or you can get, where you can start playing around with it as a developer, start getting used to it. So Innovation Studio, Innovation Suite, a platform that's really going to give you some ways to build things quickly, even complex stuff quickly. And I think if I've already beat this slide to death. Oh, this is kind of a slice and dice of the Innovation Studio, Innovation Suite. And this is showing the drag and drop workflow building. And in this case, we're pulling cognitive steps into our workflow here, into our Visual Process Designer. The integration service, and there's really two flavors of this. Integration service is a way you can build integrations to various third-party apps. There are some pre-built integrations already available, depending if you're on basic or premium. So there are some integrations that BMC has already built on this platform, but the idea is to make it possible for you all to build the integrations a little bit easier than having to connect a Remedy system to a third-party system and work with them back and forth on the data going back and forth. By going through the integration service, you can reuse connectors. You can have these things happen. And hopefully it will make it a little bit easier for those integrations to get built and to be maintained over time. We use both on the Helix apps or on the on-premise apps. And one of the nice things about this is, the asynchronous and synchronous, and it can be much more real time. It's not a batch process. So for those of you saying, you know what, we've got a huge on-premise thing, why do I care about BMC Helix? There are hybrid deployments available. So if you haven't, for example, moved to digital workplace yet, you can actually have those up in the cloud on BMC's data center or data center of choice, and while you're still working with your Remedy on-premise solution. If you do move to things like Integration Suite, Innovation Studio, Business Workflows, etc., those are going to be in the cloud, but they can't interact with the on-premise Remedy, the on-premise Discovery, etc., etc. So hybrid is available. Don't think you have to move to Helix or stay where you are. You can start moving gradually, which is a pretty nice way for customers to start getting familiar with it and figuring out what they want to do. So Helix is cloud. We still have on-premise. You can mix and match. Cognitive, I think we've already beaten into the ground. Again, the idea is being able to learn and do things more efficiently there. A couple of use cases here. This is one that I both love and pains me a little bit as a partner. Once you're up and going on Helix, BMC takes care of the upgrades. And they're a lot faster upgrades than the on-premise upgrades. As a partner, I love working with you guys on your upgrades. It's fun. We like doing it and getting it done. But if we do move to the cloud onto Helix, from then on, BMC does take over the upgrades. Bring in RightStar for customizations, for changes, for process workshops, for ITIL training, all those kinds of things. But just the basic upgrade, BMC is going to take care of that. They'll work with you, of course, on timing, make sure it goes smoothly. But because they can control the data centers, because of their containers and other kinds of things, they've been able to do some streamlining on the upgrades that we can't quite do on the on-premise. We'll see what happens over time, but it is getting a lot faster on Helix. We're hoping some of this makes it faster on-premise as well. And again, that's a future statement. We'll see what happens. But if you do move to Helix, BMC will be doing your upgrades, although RightStar can help implement you on Helix. And from then on, BMC handles the upgrades. Doesn't mean we don't have a role. We got lots of other work we can do with you all, integrations, customizations, changes, etc. But just know that the upgrades are going to be a lot faster if you do move to Helix. Looking through this one again, I'm trying not to read the slide, but the VIPCon was the Worldwide Partner of the Year in 2018. Again, we were DSM Partner in North America, but they were the worldwide end for last year, and they're able to do a lot of things because they're moving customers onto Helix. So RightStar also has customers who are on Helix. We have customers who are hybrid, move DW, digital workplace onto Helix, the rest on-premise, and we work with customers who are fully on-premise. So we're on all the spaces. We're able to help you out however you need. And in fact, we even had a Remedy 5.x customer we're working with right now that wants to move to 19.02. So that's another customer we're working with. So we've got the experience. We've been around for so many years. We're going to help move them onto the latest thing. That'll be quite a jump for them. So a lot of value propositions here. We all are moving toward getting more automated, more proactive, faster, cost savings. We all want to get there. We all know we're at different phases. We all know we can go back a few steps as well as go forward a few steps. But hopefully what you'll see out of this presentation is BMC is working hard to make sure the right solutions and the right tools are there to help you as you make the journey and you're continuing to find out what your end users want, make things better for them as well as your support analyst. If you do need to contact us, if you don't already have 15 million emails from us, here's how you can get a hold of us. We'd be happy to connect you up with your sales manager, your sales rep, and get you going in whichever direction you want to go. But the key question we started all this out is, what is Helix, and what's the difference between Helix Remedy and Remedy on-premise? There is no difference. Same Remedy product. Helix just references installations up in the cloud, and then the Remedy can be, of course, still installed on-premise, or of course, the hybrid. So the initial question was very simple, but we did want to walk you through what BMC has been doing, just in case you haven't had a chance to catch up with them, because they are moving fast. A lot has happened in the last year and a half, 2 years. So hopefully this was useful. You will be getting a recording of this later. Please feel free to share it around. And again, if you need more specifics, please do contact us. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to you all later.